Hello, everybody. Yes, yes, yes. I know what you're waiting for. Don't worry. It's coming. Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
One of these days we'll have this ready first.
Hello, everybody. If you're a spiritual seeker aspirant, you've got to have a sense of humor, and you got to like yourself some anarchy. Okay. We are in the middle of Buddha for the Blues. Blues for the Buddha? Kill the Buddha? Let's kill the Buddha.
My little fold isn't in the right place. Kill the Buddha.
So later on, I've already let you in on a deep, dark secret. There's a chapter called Blues for the Buddha.
Oh. I'm trying to remember exactly where we were last time. Guess I'll just start on the previous page, okay? Just gonna jump in. So this is with Andrew and Buddhism. That's where we are. All right. What drew Andrew to Buddhism was interesting, but hearing him talk about it only reinforced my belief that it was something I didn't get. I'm not a theologian, of course, and I have not made a deep study of world religions, but to the degree that I have looked at them, I have no problem understanding what they're about. Christianity, Judaism, and Islam are all about keeping God happy so he keeps us happy. Hinduism is similar, but with more gods. But even at that oversimplistic level, Buddhism eludes me. Frankly, I think it eludes many of its practitioners as well, as the discussion with Andrew would tend to bear out. This is what we talked a lot about this.
Yeah. It's funny, I had a talk with a friend of mine, a deep religious talk, good Mormon, and he struggles on the edge of insanity trying to prop up his fake bubble of belief, because he knows that that's what it's about. It's about pleasing a God, but he just has decided that it's not, that it's about God's just laying out the rules. It's not my rules. I didn't make them. And he's even because God didn't make them. They're just there. And so I'm telling you what you need to do, and I don't care whether you do it or not. I just love you no matter what. But here's the rules. You have to do these things. If you don't, you don't get what you want. So it's not my fault. Hands off God. Hands off God. Not my fault. Not my fault.
So he finds a way to not blame God, but still follow God's rules.
Yeah, but they're not God's rules. They're principles. It's not God's fault. Murdered babies, not God's fault. It's just weird the way he's took the hands off of God. And I go, so is your God omniscient, omnipotent, all those things? He created the world, and he's just come to the conclusion, well, he must not have been able to. He's just a guy in the world. So only back out to make it.
You're not worshiping God then. You're worshiping.
Well, he's worshiping a guy who it's come down to. He doesn't want to admit it. He's finally backed out. But I said, so you've just worshiping a sufficiently advanced technological being. And Mormons do kind of believe that. Like, we can become like gods. So it's not that, it's just he's a guy like us who made it, who did it.
What an interesting philosophy.
Yeah. So it's not his fault that people murder babies. It's just, no, not my fault. Free will. I gave you free will. Well, he didn't even give us free will. There's no way not to have free will. It's absurdity.
That is mental gymnastics.
It is some gymnastics. I love the guy, but it's some gymnastics. And he would argue and come back and very cogently tell me I misrepresented him.
Probably.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure.
He was stuck on several points, he said. We discussed a few of them that I'll share here because they reveal important lessons for anyone who is trying to break free from the bonds of delusion, as we say in the Enlightenment game. What Andrew had to say about the Buddhist concept of non-attachment was not so much that he didn't understand it, as that he was having trouble achieving it. That, of course, led to the apparent paradox of the desire to be desireless being itself a desire, and that whole tail chase. Rather than drawing him out on the subject, I decided to simply drone on about it for a while and see how he responded. Andrew didn't need to be finessed like some of the others. He had the courage and the intelligence to see when shown. There are two ways to look at non-attachment. One in the context of living a peaceful, happy life. The other is in the context of becoming awake from delusion, nirvana, I suppose. Am I correct in believing that Buddhism often has as its goal serenity, freedom from suffering, that sort of thing? Andrew confirmed that living a fulfilled and contented life was very much at the heart of Buddhism, but added that enlightenment, nirvana, was closer to his own. Then you'll be happy to know that you can forget about non-attachment. I say, you're putting the cart before the horse. Non-attachment isn't a key to liberation, it's a byproduct. The attachment thing is just a symptom of a larger and more interesting malady chronically plaguing earnest seekers. More interesting to me, anyway. So I have something to comment on desire because I just listened to a podcast today where somebody talked about it, and I had explained it in a way as one of Joe's recent podcasts, Joe Rogan. Don't remember the guy's name right now. I'm not going to take the time to do it. So he was talking about how a desire is essentially a personal contract with yourself that you are not going to feel happy until you get that thing. And I had never thought of it that way. Because that's essentially, like, if I was sitting here and I didn't want, a beer or whatever, and it's fine, but then all of a sudden I want a beer, I've now decided that I'm not going to be content. I'm not going to be okay unless I get that beer. I never thought about desires as Jed talks about it in any way as that kind of, in that framing. It helps me personally.
Really? That's useless to me. That's garbage. Who has that guy's garbage thinking?
Well, because
There's a desire, I want the beer. Okay, good. Now, if I get fixated on it, if I'm like, I gotta have the beer, I'm not hungry, then that's
what you focus on in your life, what you desire in your life. Because you're essentially like thinking of like your big long-term life goals as the things of like, oh, I'm deciding, but the decision that me deciding, having a desire to go after that thing means that I'm deciding that I'm not going to be okay until that's done.
I don't think you have to make that decision. I think you can say that's
it's not a decision. I'm saying most people don't think of it as a decision. I'm saying you can break it down into an understanding.
Yeah, but I'm saying you can have a long-term desire, say I'm heading this way, and not add the bullshit you just added to it, that I'm not going to be happy until I get there. Just say I'm just working towards it.
I'm not even adding stuff. I'm saying that's an inherent aspect of a desire. That's what
I don't think it is.
I think for a lot of people,
I think
it varies.
Right? Isn't that what?
I think it varies, but I think that's absolutely true. I think when I know there are certain desires in my life that I attach absolute happiness to it. I desire this thing, and out there somewhere, that means happiness to me. Like if I were to get a horse, I desire a horse. I attach happiness to that horse. There's an attachment to getting a horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just your human egoic way of looking at things, though.
Right, but that's
live from live from the integrated state. I'm supposed to have a horse. I go get a horse.
I don't even have necessarily an overarching point to make, other than I hadn't thought of that.
I think you're confusing the story, and I think you should be swept off the stage with your poor thinking.
Well, I'm glad that there's two of us. Good for you, I guess. This is a very common error that's found throughout the world's teachings. What are you doing? This is a very common error that's found throughout the world's teachings and religions, I continued. They're often 180 degrees removed from the truth. It's the belief that if you want to be Christ-like, then you should act more like Christ, as if the way to become something is by imitating it. If you want to be an enlightened person, the thinking goes, you should act like an enlightened person.
We
talked about this a lot.
Yeah, we talked about this a lot. This was key to the talk with some people, and how I did approach shades the whole time. Was that this was the answer over and over again. Like, I don't want you to be like me at Shades of Intimacy. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. I don't want to be like any of my mentors.
Right.
And I was just listening to something by Kyle Cease. Have you ever heard of him? And he was just talking the exact same fucking thing. Just like, strip the shit away, and what's your voice saying? And if it's talking about pizza, then talk about pizza, or whatever the fuck he was talking about in that book we read. So yeah, this was so impactful in timing for me. This was a synchronicity of massive proportion.
When we went over this
earlier. Bears out as true.
Utter nonsense, of course, but widely accepted. Once you're able to recognize this fallacy, you'll be amazed by how common it is. For instance, I myself am enlightened, and I possess effortless non-attachment. I know what it is, and I know what they mean by it because I have it. I'm not attached to it. I don't cultivate it. In fact, I don't think I ever gave it much thought until I had to answer questions about it. It's just something that came with the deal, a byproduct. There are many byproducts of enlightenment, but cultivating them, no matter how devoutly, would never actually bring about enlightenment. It's easy to look at enlightenment and at an enlightened guy and say, hey, he only eats rice. We must only eat rice if we wish to attain nirvana. But of course, that's not true. If the enlightened guy jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge? Andrew laughed politely. If the enlightened guy jumped off a bridge, I repeated, would you jump off a bridge? He didn't laugh that time. I fucking love the way he makes that point. So much.
What do you think? What are you thinking? Weigh in this excision dinosaur lover.
I'm just listening right now.
Okay.
It's everywhere, I went on. You see it all the time. Why should I turn the other cheek if someone belts me and I want to belt him back? To act like Christ? When did I get into the acting like Christ business? Some great sage in India only sits facing north. So now I have to sit facing north all the time? What if sage guy is a nose picker? Do I have to face north and pick my nose 8 times a day? Why? Because my mission in life is to intimidate great sages? I don't think so.
Imitate.
What'd I say?
Intimidate.
Thank you. Sorry. Imitate. Yeah, those are different words.
Different meanings entirely.
I don't think so. Say I'm well fed and you're starving. You come to me and ask how you can be well fed. Well, I've noticed that every time I eat a good meal, I belch. So I tell you to belch because that means that you're well fed. Totally backward, right? You're still starving and now you're also off-gassing like a pig. And the worst part of the whole deal, pay attention to this trick, the worst part is that you've stopped looking for food. You are now programmed to fail. Your starvation is assured. I let that one sink in for a few moments. There were important lessons here, and I didn't want to race through them too quickly. The little questions are always portals into larger answers. The non-attachment thing is the same, I continued. If you're looking at it as a key to peace and happiness, then I can't discuss it with any authority except to say that it's actually a little dull. However, if you are looking at it as an important step on the path to awakening, then I can assure you that you've been misled. Wake up first, and then you can have non-attachment by the truckload. He smiled and nodded, as if truckloads of non-attachment would just be the realization of a dream. And when that day comes, I added, you'll have a hard time remembering what was so bad about attachments, and you might even miss some of them.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
The whole thing reminds me of like the fact that he's saying like there's this external search, like I'm searching for non-attachment. I'm searching for this. Like there's this external, and he said it. You can't desire non-attach. You can't desire not having desires because right there you're desiring. Like that's
It just
done.
doesn't, yeah.
So it's all this external searching versus you just burn yourself up. Like it starts in you. You shred yourself, and then I think the rest of it just blows open. But the imitation and the trying to achieve this and trying to achieve that, it's like no,
It's like
just
trying to
burn
make
this
your
shit
trying to
up.
make your outside look like
What you
other
think it
things
should
instead
look.
of just
Yeah,
like focusing on yourself and your actual inner world.
yeah. Just internally, just destroy yourself, and I think the rest of
Everything
it
else
falls
is
away.
just distractions that help have you stop looking.
Okay, so let me add this to it because I think you clarified something for me. So to me, okay, so trying to act unattached is a fool's game. I've tried that. I've sat there and went, I don't care if the Golden State Warriors win tonight. I don't care. I'm just bullshitting myself, right? I care, right? That kind of acting like I'm not attached. However, I think attacking your attachments is the only key to this growth.
And
game.
that's in here. That's all
Yeah,
it
to
is.
find what I'm attached to and light it up and see the fear behind it.
Yeah, you have to destroy the thing making the attachment, which is this.
Yeah.
Not the attachment. Like, destroy this.
Yeah, it's the emotional connection to it that needs to go as well as this. That's why we brought the game on itself in the journey.
Yeah.
That's the fucking piece. So attacking your attachments is the game. He'll even say that. I mean, this is where it cleared up for me in the second book, is where he kind of finally reworded autolysis.
Yeah, but
Otalza.
seeking non-attachment.
Yeah, that's a waste of
makes
time.
no sense.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like we try to detach from the end point. Like if I'm attached to you,
Yeah.
like, I try and get the attachment off of you. It's like, no, I need to get the attachment off of me.
Well, it's like, okay, so the Golden State Warriors, I'm trying to act like I don't care, right?
Right.
But there's a piece in me, this fucking gangrenous, emotional, just green, sick, slimy fucking piece of shit that's attached to the Golden State Warriors, right? It's this sick thing. That's the enemy. And that I'm attached to it. I can't, yeah. So I can pretend I don't care about the Golden State Warriors or stop caring about them. But the sick, twisted, fibrous, wretched refuse of a connector is still there.
Mm-hmm.
I almost felt like I had to refine that. It's like, it's not. Never mind. We discussed non-attachment some more.
Serious?
But the whole thing is really very simple, and Andrew said that he felt he understood it much more directly now. I didn't doubt it. That belching part was inspiring. The next thing Andrew and I got into was what it meant to be in the world, but not of the world. This didn't take long because the answer is largely the same as it was for non-attachment. It's nothing you have to worry about now, I told him. It's just something that takes care of itself when the time comes. There's no point in understanding it. He was not so easily put off, so I continued. From my perspective, I told him, unenlightened people seem like a character in a soap opera. That's what I see when I watch people with all their concerns and hopes and dreams and conflicts and dramas. That's not meant to diminish the human experience in any way, and anyone watching from my seat would say the same thing. But when I say soap opera, that's what I mean.
So that's interesting. We've talked about this before where he gets a bad rap as being called arrogant, right? Mm-hmm. And I think if you were to read that in the short and skim, you would go, wow, he thinks we're all in a soap opera. Likewise, I missed a few strains, been a bit busy, but good to be back here.
No, keep talking.
Hey, I like to say hi to our friends in far places. Yes, you did sufficiently distract me.
Good.
What was I saying? Wait, it was good though.
Arrogance.
Oh, arrogance. But he puts in that line. It's like, this is in no way meant to diminish the human experience. Right? And so everyone's going,
I just don't understand how you could read his writing and think that he's like in any way shitty.
Well, because they think he's saying that shadily. Like, oh, and this is in no way meant to just, they're saying he's saying it with that tone. I think we should choose to believe him. He means it. This is no way meant to diminish it.
Yeah.
But the truth is, it's kind of like a soap opera. And let's all face it.
It is.
Let's all be real. No, honestly, we have people we know in our lives who ratchet up the drama and the crisis. And sometimes you just sit back and you go, I think you're getting off on this, right? It's just so dramatic to you. You see it in them. So it's kind of like a soap opera. Like if there was a camera and they were going, ah, someone scuffed my Puma, right? You'd be like, calm down, dude. Like, relax.
I think too, anytime someone can identify someone else as being arrogant, that's because they have an attachment to something. Like if you have an attachment, if I'm attached to being Buddhist, or I'm attached to being Christian, or I'm attached to whatever, then of course I'm going to think he's an arrogant asshole.
Yeah. Well, especially in this Buddhist area.
Right.
That's what we're talking about here. Like, if any Buddhist person said that, they'd be like, well, fuck this shit and burn it out.
So that's a dead giveaway that someone has an attachment.
If anybody who says that they think he's arrogant is because he said something that has offended them.
Because they have an attachment.
Because they have an attachment.
Yeah.
I like this. This is good.
But when I say soap opera, that's what I mean. A maudlin, hysteria-ridden, unconvincing, poorly scripted, and clumsily acted fiction of no importance and limited entertainment value.
Right. That doesn't come across as arrogant.
Okay. You're right. Yes, that's the insulting part. Yeah, but it's not. Because I guess I agree with him.
We should copy that. We should get a poster of that. Just put that up everywhere.
Maudlin, hysteria-ridden, unconvincing, poorly scripted, and clumsily acted fiction of no importance and limited entertainment value.
Limited entertainment, right. I don't know. See, that's the difference, right? The three of us laugh at that. we go, yeah.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, he's even saying, gotta love Jed, haha, right? So, but a lot of people are not loving that.
Yeah.
They're going, that's offensive. So I guess it's a
We're just different types with the type of person that can.
Have we got to your self-fertilizing animal? Well,
I
yeah.
don't know yet.
Yeah, that's your favorite one of all.
Yeah, I love that. I used to be the same as anyone else, of course, living my life as an unwitting character in the soap opera. But now I'm not. Now I'm out of it and free to come and go. But what I can't do, barring a major head wound, is ever mistake the soap opera for reality again.
Ever? Yeah. I think there's a degree. Let's go back to the Golden State Warriors, because I'm not trying to be funny here, but I think there's a degree to which I have created. I've killed out a lot of those attachments, right? Mm-hmm. And then I'll be walking on in life and stumble into one. Like I haven't watched basketball for years, and so suddenly I decided this would be fun, and then I realized how brutally psychically sickly attached I am to the teams that play. Like I'm not healthy, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm back to being a child again.
It might be somewhat revealed in
like I was exposed,
shouting.
like no. I mean, I was sick for 3 days after Kevin Durant popped his Achilles. Sick as a fucking. I can't.
You were that upset?
Oh fuck! I am fucked up over. Like it's the unfairness of God, the universe.
Well,
I mean,
I saw it happen. I mean, I saw the wound. It was like, but for me, it was when I saw the Reddit post. Someone had a zoomed in thing of the footage, and I watched his fucking thing pop. That was not good.
Anyways, it just exposes like you can be walking through the world like this, and you're like, I'm fine, I'm smooth, and then you have this piece of Velcro and you don't know about it. So you're moving through there and then go and play losing. Fuck you, Kyle. Fuck you.
It's funny, yeah.
See? And here's the fucking part about it. I get off on that a little. Okay. I get off on the explosive attachment. This is honest. I laugh and then I'm like on the floor screaming and kicking like a child. And then I get up and I go, this is kind of fun. Mm-hmm. The maudlin soap opera of no importance. Whether Golden State wins or loses does not matter to me in the slightest. And yet, if they lose tonight, it will be an agony. My life will be over. It's so bullshit.
It's drama.
I'm going to have to stop watching basketball.
So here I am, on stage right now, this very minute, speaking with one of the characters in the soap opera. This particular character has a storyline that revolves around breaking out of the soap opera itself. This particular character wants to know whether it has an existence outside the dramatic framework of the soap opera, or whether it is nothing more than a two-dimensional character that will cease to exist when the writers kill him off or the show gets canceled. Will this character succeed or fail in his bid for freedom? Will he continue in his quest or change course? Does it really matter? Tune in tomorrow to find out.
At the end of the chapter?
No.
Oh, shit.
Andrew was very still, very thoughtful. Wisely, he was not insulted, not taking things personally.
Wisely, not insulted.
He was listening, absorbing, but not countering or defensive. I was being a bit of an ass, I suppose, over-explaining, overstretching already tenuous analogies, just trying to keep myself amused, I guess, but also testing ways of saying things and oversaying things. So, I continued, you, Andrew, are both in the soap opera and of the soap opera. You desire to break out of the soap, and that desire is the dangling carrot that, as actors say, provides your motivation, which in turn provides the dramatic impetus for many tragicomic Andrew-centric episodes. And eventual success? He asked.
We need glasses.
I waved a hand. Me?
She does.
Oh. What time is it? We'll be done soon. I waved a hand dismissively. Oh yeah, sure. You can't manage to avoid your own true nature forever. It's a wonder that anyone manages it at all. Andrew frowned. You make it sound like enlightenment is... What? Well, like nothing. Unimportant. Like it's beside the point. I supplied. Imagine you're watching a soap opera on television, but you have the power to step into it. 1 minute you're watching a goofy TV show, the next minute you're in a hospital room visiting a character who's dying of brain cancer. It's real to him. He's in the pit of despair. But to you, he's just an actor playing a role. Nothing is really at stake. How much genuine empathy do you have for his plight? But he's just a fictional character. And I would say that it's like I don't know. I was thinking of myself in that situation as I was reading that, and I was thinking that I would have what it would cause for me if I was like looking at someone with brain cancer to be like an empathetic. I think it would come through empathy, because I'd be like, oh no, that poor person, and then that would be how it like attached to the situation instead of just this person with brain cancer.
That would be.
Does that make sense? It would be. I think it's through my empathy.
Yeah, that would be the excellent
thing.
thing to do the journey stack on. Right there is where you find your empathy.
Well, it's funny too.
Right,
It's
that
like,
would be.
sorry.
No.
When people say they're empaths, it drives me fucking crazy. Because to me, that's exactly it. And it never really occurred to me before until you read that. It's that they are fully invested in the soap opera. Fully invested. Like they can't even peel themselves away enough to get enough distance from the soap opera to realize that they're actually in a soap opera. I mean, like, that right there is
fully
why.
in it. It's
like,
like the
people,
empathy is I relate to your story.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just it's a tool. I mean, obviously, empathy is fucking wonderful and it has positive things.
Right.
But in the frame of attachments, it's the enemy of it is the thing causing attachments.
Yeah, I need to like look up the definition of empathy. But when people are, because that's a big thing right now. Are you empathic? I'm an empath. Oh, empaths are. That's why empaths get narcissists attached to empaths. It's like, stop it. Fucking stop it. It just means that you were so fucking invested in the story. And not even your own story. Everybody else's story.
Other people's story.
Yeah. Like that. Ugh.
But is it possible, like, to energetically open your heart so much that you're like filling space and time as consciousness, and you can actually feel other people's pain?
Yeah, but to me, that's not empathy.
Okay.
Like empathy has a story attached to it. Like I'm gonna somehow my attention on this person and feeling bad for them is somehow going to fucking make it better. Like to me, that's what you just described.
It's introducing
actually
your own story into their story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I think
that's
you
useful.
And mixing it.
Which is why I said I need to actually look up the definition of empathy. But I
think we need
hate empathy. I hate it.
Well, your attachment to hating. I mean, yeah, it would be.
Well, I'm attached.
I'm learning about
to
attachments, like the game and things and like problems. Is like, oh, like I'm looking at this differently. Like this is so good for us to keep going through this.
Yeah.
I don't think we are mentally masturbating. I think we're actually going, yeah, we probably got to go.
Oh.
You guys have such a cool relationship. I could never do this with my parents.
Bye.
Bye. Have fun. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
The Warriors. Yeah, we're a little weird, but thanks for mentioning that.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. And I got to tell you, I've said this before. I don't know. I'm trying not to be attached to it, but I just love that you came up with this idea and that we've been so consistent in it. And it's been, the only regret I have is that I often will do the work on the day we talk about it, and then I'll go 6 days and completely forget about it.
Yeah, that happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's happened consistently, but honestly, yeah, I don't know. I'm just not going to think about it too much and just keep going through this. And if I have to end up doing a second run through just for the fuck of it, then I don't care. I'm just going to keep doing it.
I will say that this soap opera piece is really impactful. I think we should start tomorrow going back. I wish more people could watch these. It's fun to see like-minded people talk about the same interests.
Thanks, man. Well, I do too, to some degree. And so I'm just going to keep making things, YouTube algorithms, search algorithms, those things work off consistency. They consistently posted content. So we're just going to keep doing what we're doing, make sure we have the right tags in our things. And hell, if you meet anybody that's interested, send us some stuff to them.
Here's something interesting, serious. I just wanted to throw this out. I do a lot of content marketing shit for Shades of Intimacy and all this stuff, right? And when he came up with this idea, we knew that for some reason it was indicated, to use Jed's language, that we had to do it live on YouTube. Like we just knew that. So it had to be live. But we had this very fun story in our head, but no one's going to watch. Like no one. And we didn't want anyone to watch. And just as in a way of irony for the universe, they're winking at us. Like you watched from the beginning. Like you were there from the beginning and we were like, what the fuck, right?
That's cool.
So it's been really cool. And I think that's just been a wonderful wink to the universe. And I think I want to stay on the side of, I don't care if anyone ever watches. You know, I don't want algorithms. I don't care about any of that shit. You're right. It'd be fun to have more people get involved. And if they do, they do. But I know that that's something I could be attracted to and attached to.
Yeah, with this project, the focus is the work, and then, you know, everything else is a side effect.
And it's an authentic journey, right? This is us. This is the family. You saw the mother, the kid. This is us. Like you see us. This is us. We don't talk this way on normal Facebook and shit like that, right? So
no one would know what the fuck we're talking about.
But the relationship, the friendship, I don't know. It's a place to be real. And I just think everyone should have that.
I think it's important because there's some, I don't know, especially within the seeker community.
Thanks, bro.
Within the seeker community, there are people who are inauthentically maybe covering topics or something where you could sense the gross flavor of their ego within whatever thing they're saying, or they have their own frame and lens. And I would love for this, I hope it is this, and I hope it continues to be like a place where we're like participants. We're sitting here like going through, looking at what he's saying, reacting. I'm trying not to throw frames on it.
Yeah, and learning and growing as we go, right?
Yeah, and
Like,
actually
we just
fucking making progress in understanding.
Yeah.
Beyond anything I ever did by myself.
I'm here now. I think this is awesome. Hey, thanks, Sirius. We're gonna call it a night.
Yep.
Because we got a basketball game to watch. So maybe I'll come on live tomorrow and talk about how attached I was. I'm assuming the Warriors will lose, but I also have hope they'll win. Oh, fuck. I am fucked up when it comes to that basketball team. I'm gonna have to relax and do some work. Spiritual autolysis, right?
Autolysis.
Okay. Everybody have a great day, and thanks for listening. Questions, all you want, and that help us turn our heads too. So thanks a lot.
Thanks for paying attention.
Where's the end?